Hi there, everyone. If you're watching the recording, I'm just waiting a few minutes to let everyone join into the waiting room, and I can let them all in at once. So just give us a minute. We're going to wait and let everyone pop on. If you want to fast forward through the first 5 minutes of everyone joining on, because we are doing this live and recording this live as well. So we only have a maximum amount of 100 people that can join. And then after that, we'll send out the recording for everybody. All right, I'm going to start letting them in, and then we are going to jump in and get started. Hello, everyone who is joining. We're going to just take a minute here since you're joining live. I want to give everybody a chance to get in. There's a waiting room so that we are going to, here we go. It's going to be a second till everybody can get logged on here. I have all of you muted. And so because you're all muted, you can't ask any questions yet. And at the end of today, I will give a chance for question and answer. So let's just take about a minute. I'm going to actually go get a drink really quick. So we're just going to hang tight till everybody can log on. We still have a couple minutes, and I see a bunch of people that are still joining into the waiting room. So just hang tight. All right. It's good to see all of you. You are all muted, and I have the mute button under control, I believe. There is a chat box though. So as I'm going through the training today, you are welcome to chat a question because I might be going over something and skip something or go something that's not very clear. And so you're welcome to ask a question that might remind me to make sure I cover that as well. So if you have a question as I'm going through, you are welcome to use the chat function and type it into me. I would love for you to do that. I, at the end, will take, if we have time, I'm hoping some time for some question and answer. And then again, you will also be able to chat, or you can even like raise your hand and I will be able to unmute you. So I'm just going to give about 1 more minute and then we are going to get started. I still see some people that are in the waiting room. If people join late in the waiting room, I may or may not let them in. I don't want to disrupt the training, so I'll be doing some screen sharing. So I'm going to give it just a couple, maybe a minute, and then we're going to get started. I'm going to do gallery view real quick so I can see all your faces. I love that. That's motivating for me to see who's listening and watching along with me. All right. Let's see, we have a few more in the waiting room. I see some of you are at work on your lunch breaks. I love that. Well, right now, actually, it's probably hard to tell because a lot of people are working from home as well. Okay. All right. So I have a couple minutes after the hour. I have this on speaker view or spotlight view. So I think my face is probably all that you're seeing right now. So I'm grateful that you're here spending the afternoon with me. Most of you all know my name is Rhonda Wade, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and have been for over 20 years. And I also, for the last 12 years, have a training business for Stampin' Up! Demonstrators to help them grow their business and build their business. And it's To this day, we have over 700 training clients active. We've had thousands over the years, and we have a very incredible program. And one of the things that I train a lot on in my program is email marketing. So I train on it a lot, all the time. If you are not using email, you are greatly stunting your ability to do your marketing plan. And if you're not using marketing or email marketing to its fullest extent, there's so much that you can do with your marketing through email. I'm going to explain to you why I use email as one of the strongest parts of my business and compare that to maybe some other business models that you might see. So I'm also going to share with you a little bit of numbers, and also so that might give you an idea of the power of email marketing. So a lot of people, so last year, I'll give you an example. Last year, my sales were about $225,000, which is huge, incredible. For anybody who knows me, 8 or 9 years ago, I used to sell about 40 to 50,000. That was always my goal, was to sell about $40 to $50,000 in sales. And then about 8 years ago, I did start offering online classes. And online classes have always been, since then, a huge staple part of my business. Another thing I do a lot of are online or our live retreats, and also I take those online. So steadily every year, my sales have grown tremendously. Some of you might even categorize me as an online demonstrator, because I don't do as very many live events. I still do some live events, especially my retreats, stamp camps, and a class or two a month. But I would say 90 to 95% of my business is online. But that's not the typical online business that you are envisioning. I do not blog. If you checked my blog, I think I blogged twice in the last 3 years. So I don't blog. I don't do a tremendous amount of YouTube videos. I am starting to, but that's a new thing. But I haven't over the last 8 years. I didn't even use my YouTube channel until just a couple of years ago. So those kind of sales that I'm generating are not from what you would typically think or feel of an online demonstrator. Those kind of sales come from my email marketing. When I email, and also the use of social media to support my email marketing. When I send out an email, that is when I get orders. When I send out an email, that's when people join my classes. I might get a few through social media, but the bulk of all of my business comes through email. And I'm going to tell you one of the reasons why that is so important. Number one, you're driving to their inbox. You're not just hoping that they're going to pop up in their news feed. You're not hoping that they're going to spend some time today to check out your blog, but you are actually driving to them every single day. Email marketing is an extremely huge, powerful tool for all stores, online businesses, corporations. It is a very huge, tried and true form of marketing. Some of you have a mindset that you're afraid that you might have unsubscribers, or you're afraid that you might be overbearing because you're emailing too much. And that is simply not true when it comes to email marketing. I wonder if Amazon felt like that, what would happen? Or if some of those other companies that are emailing not just every day, but sometimes several times a day. The point of email marketing is to be in someone's email inbox when they are ready. They might not be ready the 10 times that you send out an email, but then all of a sudden, the 11th time you do, they're ready to shop. They are ready to be crafty. And then there you are. You're showing up right there for them. One of the other main reasons why I think email marketing is so very important, well, one of the other main reasons why is because Stampin' Up! Has some rules. They have a lot of rules, actually. And a lot of their rules that they have pertain to websites and blogs. So you're not allowed to offer online classes that include product if you're doing that on a blog or a website. You're not allowed to have PayPal links on there. You are not allowed to collect money for like selling selling classes that have any product or retreats or stamp camps. They have rules against that. So, but those rules are for blogs and websites. It's that rule is not in place for emails because people choose to join your email list. Whereas a blog, it almost sets up where you're like a Stampin' Up store and you're not allowed to do that. Debbie said, you said emails get you orders. Is it the classes you offer that get you orders and the email? Yes, Debbie. So no, sometimes I get orders from the people who sign up for my classes. Yes. And I'm going to teach you how I do that today. But I also get orders for Stampin' Up products. So I will send out maybe a link for them to order whatever I used, that day on a Facebook Live, or I'll send out an ordering special. So I get the email drives people to action on the things that they might have watched me do on social media or on YouTube, or if maybe they came to one of my classes and fell in love with a bunch of stuff. The email is where I'm really trying to seal the deal on that. So that is the point of one of the very quickly why email is so important. Now, so because I believe in this and I've been living it and doing it, I use a company called Constant Contact, and it is an email marketing provider. So lots of my training clients and team members and friends use Constant Contact because that's what I use. And so we use it together. I've seen some incredible growth simply because of Constant Contact. And so this training you guys are all joining in today is simply a free training that I'm doing to help people that already have Constant Contact that would maybe need some help on what ways that I'm using it to generate these sales and generate these classes and generate these orders. And also how I'm using it to create landing pages and surveys and social media posts and things like that. So it is for the current people who use Constant Contact. But a lot of you are looking for an email internet provider. And so I know a lot of you are listening in to see, wait a minute, maybe do I want to use Constant Contact? Maybe some of you use MailChimp or Aweber or other ones, and you're contemplating on switching. And so again, that's why there's so many of you here for different reasons. So before I begin, I've got to stick to my notes so that I don't get too far off kilter. I'm going to be teaching you from what I really do. So I'm not going to be, so there's probably a lot more things that Constant Contact does that I don't use them for, but I am really, really going to try to show you what I really, really do. So the first thing I want to let you know is that I am not a partner of, I'm not paid by Constant Contact. They have a partner affiliation program where I could, and then they would actually pay me to work with the people who join. I don't do that. I will not, if you join for Constant Contact, I will not train you further on it. I won't be like your call to person to say, I can't figure this out. Don't call Rhonda. That's not who I am. They have people there. Their customer service is incredible. So when you join Constant Contact, you actually get a free coach for like a call, and then you can call the customer service. So they will be able to help you. So me tell you first away, I'm not a paid person for Constant Contact. Just like Stampin' Up doesn't pay me to do my training. It is just something that I believe in, and so I'm sharing it. I am an what they call an umbrella. That's they use like a partner umbrella or something with Constant Contact, and I had to do that about a year ago because Constant Contact is making some changes a year ago, and they got rid of my event section that I love so much for new people. But I was able to still have it. My Constant Contact never changed at all. And so I called them and because I was curious as to why these new people who are joining, who are my friends, are not getting the event section. And they said, we got rid of it. And like, oh my gosh, like that is going to like destroy me. Like I love the event section. And he goes, oh, no. People who have it can have it and maintain it and you won't lose it. So what he also said then was that if I became this umbrella partner, that people could join with a link, a referral link that I have, and then they are able to get the same version of Constant Contact that I have. So I have version 15 is what I'm told. And so if you are a current Constant Contact subscriber, you are able to move under my umbrella and you can have my same version. Or if you're brand new, you're going to want to use my referral link so that you can get the events section. Now, just in the last month, Constant Contact has come back out with the event section because people were in such an uproar. So now when you join with Constant Contact, you automatically get the event section. It doesn't cost you anything more to have it. But what they're doing now is they are charging you per transaction. So if you have the event section and you do an event and people start signing up, you'll be charged 80 cents per transaction, which doesn't seem like much, but if you have 4 or 5 events going on in a month and each one has 5 or 6 people signing up for it, or 20 or 30 people, you're going to be paying a lot of money. And you also will pay, if you're collecting money, you will pay a fee. They are offering it like how Eventbrite would offer it, how you pay per transaction. So, which if you want to just try out the event section, that would be okay, but it would be much, much, much more expensive. So again, I talked to Constant Contact and they said anybody who is under my umbrella is able to get the event section at the price that I pay for it. And I pay $25 a month flat fee for the event section. It might not, I think it might only be $15. So the basic Constant Contact fee structure, and I'll share it with you. They sent it to me. The basic one is $30, I believe. And then, so then they, you can do the email plus, and that will include the event section for $45. So it's only $15 more. It is the best pricing that you would be able to find on the event section. So when this is done, I've already sent it, but I'll email you again. If you want to use the referral link, you can do a free trial. There's all these perks that it also gives, which I'll share with you. You can get a discount. You can get a free template, which I'll show you too. And then you can also, you have a coach that you can talk to. And so, and you can request that you would have my version, which is version 15. So those are just some of the things. That is why I joined a year ago. I know with this umbrella. So since then, that to me, it's a little bit confusing for me, but it's definitely worth it. I love Constant Contact and I absolutely love the version that I have. For $45 a month, it is one of the most absolute best investments that I make, because it's not only do I use it for my email marketing, I use it for my registrations, for collecting money, for doing surveys. I can create landing pages. And here's the coolest thing. You can then take and collect emails 24 hours, 7 days a week. So they create links for you that you can input on your blog and on your websites and on your Facebook group. And I put it on every Facebook Live, every YouTube video, everything I do. I always have a link to join my email list. So that way, if someone's watching a video from 2 years ago, they can still join my email list, all because of the ease of a link. So I'm going to show you exactly how I do that too. So I will have people joining my email list 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I maybe not even had done anything. So that is the beautiful part of having an online email provider. All right. So that is my reason why I'm doing this call, is because I sincerely and genuinely believe that this is an incredible part of the huge growth that I've had over the last 8 years, is because I use Constant Contact to a very full extent. I'm not a partner there. I do get like a percentage of people that join, but I don't on-go service you. So I could, and they would pay me a ton of money, but I'm not. I don't do that. I don't have time to do that. So if you do join, I am not, no, anybody can use my link. Denise, anybody can. The guy actually, I have a guy that I work with who will handle everything, not me. And he told me that I am the only one in the entire country that they have approved to use this version 15. So it's a huge perk. He's like, you could actually market it. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm just trying to help my stampers. I'm just trying to help my clients and my friends. So that's all I'm doing. I don't need another part-time job. So anyway, I will refer you to them and they will help you with everything else. They have an incredible customer service. You schedule times and they will walk you through and work you with whatever you need to do. All right. So the reason why I'm going to go through my little points here to make sure I didn't miss any of them is you can access your email list from anywhere in the world, in the country. So like if I'm traveling, I know I can access my list anywhere. The other biggest thing is that if you've never had your computer crash, I have, where I've lost all of my content on my computer. And that meant I lost like all of my lists, everything years ago. And that's the reason why I actually joined Constant Contact. Was a friend of mine used it and loved it, Carolyn LaBelle from Canada. This is like, again, I've been using Constant Contact for over 10 years. If I didn't tell you, that was like 10 years ago. And I lost everything. So I had to start from scratch. So now I know no matter what, all of my email contacts are in a safe place. It's on a third-party site. So if my computer crashes or if something happens with my email address or anything, I can still access my email list. I can still work with my email from anywhere, wherever I'm at. Constant Contact is a balance between, some people want to have super professional emails. I actually don't want to have super professional. I want to have a little professional and a lot of personal and fun. So I think Constant Contact is a good balance on that. If people get these very professional looking emails, then they're like, oh, that's another company, another corporation. I want to still be me and I want you to still be you. And I don't want it to take forever to create this super professional email. But Constant Contacts gives you the ability to balance those two things together. They have all kinds of templates, some that are really professional and some that are super fun and cute and some that are just very, very simple. I love being able to get, again, email signups 24/7 from all of the things that I do. Facebook, social media, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest. You can put your link in anywhere and everywhere you post. So you could be able to get signups all the time, all week long. Online classes. One of the things I say to everybody, especially right now, if you want to start holding online classes, if you want to grow your online classes, if you want to offer online classes, you have to have, not you should, or I suggest, I'm saying you have to have an online ordering system. They have to be able to click and order. What I see a lot of demonstrators do is they'll post their class and they'll say, message me if you want to take it to go. That doesn't work. You might get a couple, you might get 3, 4, 5. I cannot tell you how many of my training clients did that, and they would get maybe 5 to 10 people to taking their online classes. But as soon as they switched to specifically Constant Contact and Constant Contact events, they went to having 20 to 30, 60, 80, 100, 200. Like, it's the click. People who order online click late at night. They don't want to message you. They want to click a button, pay you, and then have their stuff show up. They don't want to have this banter back and forth with you or show it on social media in front of everybody. And some people get embarrassed by how many online classes that they purchase. So they want to be able to click a button and do it in the quiet of their house, early in the morning, late at night, middle of the day. And so you need to have a link that people can click. Sorry, it's my heater, that they can click and then they can fill out their information, collects money, it's done. It's an automated system. So again, I'll say it again. If you want to grow online classes, if you want to build online classes, if you want to offer them, in order for them to be successful, you need and have to have an online ordering system. Now, there's other choices out there for that, but there's Eventbrite, but again, it would cost me a fortune to do Eventbrite because they charge you per transaction and they charge you a percentage if they collect the money. Constant Contact will collect the money through PayPal or through a credit card company. Or they also do it also through, you can have them mail me a check, or they're going to pay at the door. So you can give them 4 different options on how to pay you. But again, you don't have to do any of that. That is all preset when they register. So, and again, I've seen incredible growth, which I've shared with you all with this tool, not only with myself, but incredible growth with many of my training clients. Also, if you use Constant Contact for emails, no, you do not, Carolyn. You can use Constant Contact, I believe. I believe you can use it internationally. I'm pretty sure I have some that do. I'm actually not positive. I'm pretty sure Canada. I don't know about outside of that. That again, if there's questions I don't know the answer to, I will try to find them out for you as well. What I love about having my event section and my registration, it's linked to my email. So after I create an event, then all I have to do is just email that out to my email list. It's like seamless. It saves me so much time. Before, when I used to use like Eventbrite or other systems, I used to have to spend all that time creating my event. And then I used to have to go and input it into my email and like pretty much like recopy everything. And instead, when you use Constant Contact, your email provider, and then you use it for your events, it's all right there. And then after I create my email, I just got to say, send to this group, send to that group, or send to that group. So it saves me a lot of time to have them both in the same place. Oh, great. Nettie answered that question, that she is in the UK and she does also. Dee said, PP, I'm thinking you're talking about PayPal. Yes, you can just create a PayPal link. I do that for some things. I have stopped using it altogether because on PayPal, so many people sign up for PayPal and there's old addresses on there. There is, I can't tell you how many times that their reporting is very difficult to pull up reports, where when I use Constant Contact events, they get to type in their current address. Many of my customers will be in the north in the summer and the south, or in Arizona in the winter, and they have like 3 and 4 addresses. So, but the one they do on PayPal is only the one they probably registered with 20 years ago. So it's, unless they know how to change their address, which is very difficult on PayPal. The other thing is people, like, they're using their husbands, their daughters. Not everybody has PayPal. I have had every class that I use just PayPal. There are always packages that are lost or not addressed or come back to me because of incorrect information. So when you use something like Constant Contact or a Google Doc, they have to submit their address every time. So they will submit their current address and their current name and their current email address, where PayPal gives you information that they used like when they signed up a long time ago. All right, so let's jump into, I've already explained what I get to offer, and I'll cover that again at the end too, because I do have, and I will put it all in print so you can read it. So let's jump into some screen sharing. Now I want to jump into, my screen share, and just, so give me a second. I believe I have you on my, okay, yes. So I need to pull up my desk. Okay, here we go. It's going to take me a second to get there, but I will. Okay, so I'm going to be screen sharing with you for the next little bit to show you the inside of Constant Contact and the things that I use. So again, most of you have Constant Contact and you're already using it. So you're here trying to find out some extra things that you can do with it or how you can maximize it. So again, some of you are just here checking it out. So this is like my home base. I want you to look up here across, you can watch my little hand. This is some of the things that we are going to use. Again, please know that I probably use this to about 25% of its capabilities. The website and stores, the integrations, all of that, there are so much more, but I'm just gonna give you a brief overview of the simple things that I use it for. The first thing is emails. So this word campaign, campaign is where it's pretty much you create a campaign. Let's say, so it's a marketing campaign. Under campaign, you are going to have emails, there's events, surveys, and landing pages. Those are the 4 things that I'm going to cover. So the first thing I'm going to cover is emails. If you wonder if I send out a lot of them, look, I've sent out 2,000 emails. I send out a lot of emails, about 1 or 2 a week, with Constant Contact. So when you click on your email, it's going to obviously pull up the ones that you, let me get this a little bit more out of the way for you. It's going to pull up the ones that you have sent recently. And I love it because it tells you how many people open it. It tells you, how many people clicked. And then so let me go to one of my, by the way, this is my real thing. So obviously I'm being like an open book for all of you. So this was one of the ones I sent out. I'm doing a campaign right now on the 12 days of Christmas. And every day I'm emailing out to my customers. So it'll tell me how many I sent to 7,000 people. People opened it, a click rate. I had 2,000 people open it. I sent 7,000, 226 of them bounced. So what I can do to bounce ones, because you do pay, say, there's different tiers. You pay more when you have more people. So I can go in and I can remove those people if they're bouncing. Let me see. I think I need to get over here a little bit. All right. So then, and it will tell me, oh, I have to see if I can get this. Here we go. All right, here we go. Whoa. Oh, good. It's at the bottom. It'll tell me clicks. So these are people who clicked. So I can go to who clicked, and then it will actually tell you who clicked on your email. So right there, it'll tell me the names of the people, even their names of who clicked on my email. So then way, if I have a customer, say I'm doing a starter kit special, then I can go and I can see who clicked to read about this. So these are people who went and watched my video. It'll tell you they went to YouTube. So it'll tell me where they went, what they clicked on. This person went to my website. So this is a great way for you to be able to do some follow throughs, right? And then it will say, so that is who clicked on things. It'll also say, who did not open it, who unsubscribed. By the way, I want you to know that unsubscribes never bother me. If I don't have unsubscribes, then I am not doing my job. If you are people who unsubscribe are people who don't buy from you. They don't order from you. My customers that love me and are active with me, they stay subscribed. So don't ever worry. I always say that if you do not have unsubscribes every single week, then you are not doing your job properly. So I always just try to have more subscribes than I have unsubscribes. I usually try to double it. So if I have 10 people unsubscribe, my goal is to have 20 new people join. So that's just my own personal goal. So then that will tell you, see, and then if anybody reported me as spam, which they didn't, thank goodness, but I will have that occasionally. So you can also, these are some things that they recommend. You can create a Facebook ad with this, and then it'll tell you the links these are all the links that I had in that email, and it tells me which ones were clicked on the most. All right. So every email you send, you can actually really look at information to have a follow through plan. So if people click on your ordering specials or whatever, and then maybe they didn't get to put their order in, or then I can always follow up with them afterwards. All right, so that's email. Let me show you how to create an email. A lot of times what I do is I will start off with saying one thing, that this has a learning curve like anything else in your life that's new. It took me a while to figure out how to create my emails in a quick fashion. So I'm trying to get back to, let me go back to campaigns. I want to get back to that emails. Okay, so so now what I do, you can see I have copy. Now when I have certain templates that I use, so on this one, I've been using this template for all of these emails. I can just open up that past email that I did. So this is on the 7th day of Christmas. So now I have to do I'm on my 9th day of Christmas. So I can just go up here and hit copy, and then my whole email will just copy. And then I can go in and just change the information. So once you have created your emails, I usually have about 3 or 4 or 5. Oh, you want to make sure you name it. So I will do on the 9th day of Christmas. Rhonda gave to me, and I gave a desktop calendar. and free doilies to anybody who orders. Oh, it's too long. I'm just gonna do desktop calendar. All right. So then I can go in and I can just change all of my pictures. So I just clicked on this picture. So typically when this opens up from scratch, which I'll show you, they will have preloaded in there your logo. So this one I've been making and creating my own logos. So I can just go there to replace it. I can replace ones that I have already uploaded. These are pictures I've been uploading as I've been going along, but I have a new one. So I'm going to upload a file. I can go onto my computer, and I think I created this. Let's see. I think I might have created this on my other computer. So I might not be able to put this one on there. It's on my other computer. Anyway, I was just showing you how to do that anyhow. So let's go back. I'm going to cancel that. And I'm going to cancel this because we're not going to do it right now. But anyway, basically you can just hit copy, and then I can just go in, I just change some of the words, I change the pictures, I keep my links in there because that link like to order is still good. I'll change my YouTube, I'll change my host code if I have to, but then that's it. And then I can hit send, right? So I'm going to get out of here though, because I'm going to come back and finish that one later. But let me show you how to create one from scratch. All right. When you go to, if I want to create anything from scratch, an email, there's an automation where when people sign up for your email list, then they will get an automated response. So you can like include like a free tutorial or something if people join. This is the events where you're going to create your events. There's surveys. I'll show you that a little bit, and landing pages. I use obviously emails a lot. So what you're going to do is you go over here to create. See this orange button? And then it's going to drop down all of these things that you can create. You can create email automation. So it sends emails automatically when users click, join, or purchase, which is really cool. So if someone buys something, you can send them like automated email. So you don't have to do that manually. Anyway, so we're going to go to email. And it is going to give you, so we're starting from scratch, right? They will give you all of these choices. So, which is, again, like I told you, you can start with some real, like I love this one. This one I use all the time because I like simple. So the ones that are like this, they have a lot of stuff that you have to like change out. And to me, this is very like, newsletter-ish. So you can definitely use these templates. They just require a lot more work. I never do, all right? I'm just showing you, like you asked me to tell you what I really do. So I find ones that don't have a lot of stuff that I have to change. I will go through and like, oh, this one's cute. That's a new one. Support local businesses. That would be really cute. And look, you only have like 3 little blocks you have to change. So I look for ones that are not busy. I like simple. This is a cute one if you have like an anniversary. The ones like this, you get to drop in all your own stuff. But all of these you get to change. I've used this one before. I love this one. I got a lot of compliments actually when I used this one. So they have all these templates. I mean, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of templates, right? So you can use those if you want to. I, again, do not use this to that full extent. I'm simple, quick. I'm always in a hurry. So I use this one a lot. I love this one. This one is simple. So I will typically pull up this really quick and simple one. And you'll see that they will automatically upload my logo in there. And you can do that. You can absolutely upload your logo. And then you're just going to go in, you can change the words, and then you get to this. So this is as simple as it gets, right? So this is one I do use a lot. But even though if this is simple, I can still input in a picture. So sometimes I will then, hello friends, I'll type in what I want to put in there, and then I will add an image. So you can take your image and just drag it in there, and wherever you want to put it, it will show up. So let's say I want to put my image there. Where did it go? Why is it doing that? I don't know. So let's try that again. It looks like it's like frozen up there. All right, there you go. it finally showed up. All right, so there's my image because I just dropped it in. And then I can go and I'm going to replace that with, one of the pictures that I have had that is maybe already uploaded or one that I want to upload. So you just hit that replace button and yeah, your little library should pop up. So you can create these from scratch, very, very simple. One of my favorite things, and then you can input in, once you type, let me see if I can type. It's making me do this picture. All right, I think as I've dropped that picture there. Oh, there it is. So hello, friend. Check out my YouTube channel. That's right. Say okay. So you can, this is not your advertisement that you will do for your event. This is one that I do specifically if I just want to drop in other links. So this is not for my online classes because that will create, it's a different email. So then I can go and I can insert in I can insert in different things. I can put in documents. I can put in a web page. So I can put in my YouTube channel there. And so I can input in links through here, through this button right there. So that is, and then again, this is a very simple template. This is one that anybody can do. I input in images and then I will drop in links and then I'll just type in what I want to. I only do these. And then of course you're going to put your own subject line and your own little, like a pre-header. So let's go back and I want to show you one of the favorite things that for email that Constant Contact did. I paid $100 for this like 2 years ago. Now, if you join under that umbrella, they give you this for free, but you have to ask for it. So when you talk to your coach, you have to ask them, I want a web designer template. And so this one right here, this is one of my most used ones that I do. And because this actually matches my blog. So what happened was I sent them my blog address and then they came in and created me a template that I can use. So this is the same header as my blog. It actually did have a navigation bar that had all of my links. So it had the link of, join my team, shop here, upcoming classes. Now I took that out of this one because this is for my training clients. And so I don't send them any of my business. But like for my customers, that navigation bar was in there with all of the links. It even has like they inputted in everything that is kind of like that, everything that was on my website, they input into this email template. Then I can go in and just use this template over and over and over again with your customers. So again, when I did this about 2 years ago. I paid $100 to have that done. And that is a free perk that they will give to people who are under my umbrella. And I believe it's only for new subscribers, but you have to ask your coach when you have that. So that's one of the perks as well. If you are already a current one and you can always, I think it was worth it for me to have that done so that I had an email that was the same branding as my website. So if you do have to pay for it, I definitely think that that's worth it. All right, that was really quick about emails. What I want to cover was the thing that I use the most is the events section. So I seriously, like I've created 3 emails and I just reuse those all the time. So I don't get really crazy with my emails. I think simple, the better. And events though is what I love. So your events section, again, you're going to go to create. So these are some of the ones I've done. So I just got done doing a Snowflake Splendor stamp camp. It tells me how many people registered and how many people that I sent it to. Here are some of the other ones. I have some that are like still open. So here's the one for the Constant Contract training. I had 375 people who signed up for today. And I can go in let's look at this one. So I can go in, and I'm not gonna look at that one because they won't have like stamping stuff. You guys do all want to see stamping stuff. So let's go back. These are like all the classes that I've had this month. I did a really short, quick boxes class. I only had 24 kits, so I only allowed 24 people. This was my last retreat. So you can see I do all of my, this one is a convention I have going on. Here was my poinsettia stamp camp I just did. So what I do typically is, so for instance, I do a stamp camp now about once a month. So if I want to do my next stamp camp, I will just go to my last one that I did, and then I will copy it. So everything that I did in there is still in there. It just copies it. Then I just have to go in and change the information. So again, once you get doing these quite often, so if you do a monthly card class, you can create it the first time. So it'll take a little bit longer, but then every month after that, you can just copy it. It's the same price. It's the same, everything. You just got to change maybe some dates and some information. When I do a retreat, when I do a stamp camp, a class, I just copy my old one and don't start from scratch. So it saves me a ton of time. But I do want to show you, we're going to start from scratch with you guys because a lot of you are new to the event section. So I want to show you how easy and awesome that it is. So I need to create, I really do. So I'm going to kill two birds with one stone and do this as I'm talking to you guys. I need to create an event. And I need to create my, so it will put information in here you can change, right? This is going to be my December 2020 Creating for Christ. Creating for Christ. And then I usually put what it is. So I'm going to put Forever Fern so that I remember. And then this is, how do you identify this event in constant contact? I just put the same thing, December 2020. Creating for Christ. Again, you guys might do something different, but I put the same. I could just have copy and pasted that. Forever Fern. All right. So then you have to choose what it is. Obviously, I always just choose class workshop because that's typically what I would consider this. But there's also like conferences, and you could do, I don't know, there's all kinds of stuff, but I just do class workshop. So then I'll do a really quick description. This one is just the quick one that's going to catch their eyes. So I will say, join us as we honor Christ with our creativity. Again, I would copy something that I already have done. Creativity. And then I would just go on and on and on. So this is a very short description. This is what will just pop up quickly when people see it for the first time. Obviously, I would give a whole little thing here about what we're going to do. We're going to make 10 cards. I'll go back and add that later because I got to think about it. So the next thing is, when is your event? So if you have a live event, obviously, if you have a live event, this is awesome. So you can hit my live events on December 19th. It ends on December 19th. It's going to start at, 5 o'clock in the evening. And then it's going to go to, whatever, 7 o'clock. So when you have a live event that you're collecting money for, it'll give them all of these details. Now I'm doing a online event, so I don't have a start date and end. I don't have a specific time. So mine's going to be a period of time. So mine's going to start today is the first day they can register. And the last day that they'll be able to register is probably going to be the 14th. So in the start time, I always just usually leave that at like 12 o'clock because I don't really have a start time. My end time, so it's going to end on this day. I always do 11:45. So it'll close right before midnight on that day. So that is what I do for my online ones. It can sometimes be confusing for people because they think, oh gosh, well, she has a start time and an end time. That's strange. But these are the dates that are open for registration. So I tell them that. So then your next thing to do is, where is your event? So you can put an actual physical location. If you're holding it on Zoom, you can put a Zoom link in there for them. You can put exactly what you want to. I usually just put on there, from the comfort of your home. So they know that it is not any location. This is an online one that's going to come to their door. But you can say, you can even put online from the comfort of your home, so they know this is not a live event. Once, if it is at a location, then you can put in there the address of where it is. And it's really cool because they will put that almost as directions for them. So you can absolutely input the address. I don't put an address because there is no address. You put your contact name. You obviously you do want to display your email address. So I have 2 email addresses, one for my stamping business, one for my training business. So this is a stamping event, so I'll use my stamping address. My phone number, the name of my company, and all this stuff you see is generated automatically. I don't have to put that in there. So they put all that stuff in there for me. Do you want your registration to close automatically? Yes. So if you have a limited number, you only have 20, you can do that, or you can have it close on a certain date. Now, this is going to close no matter what on that after the 14th. But let's say that your event is on December 29th, but the registration is going to close on the 14th. Then you can go in there and you can put that, yes, this needs to close on the 14th, and then they will close it on the 14th. So you can control when people can register and not register. These are some optional features. Yes, I want people to join my contact list. So I have all these lists. I usually just have them join my general interest. That's where just generally anybody who follows me, that's the one where they come. I have specific lists for my training clients, for my team, for, I don't know who that is, for my meeting planner program. And I also have, my Creating for Christ. So you can segment your people and have different lists for different groups that you have. You can have like a card club one, you can have one for your team, you can have one for whatever. But the general interest is the one where I try to filter, where that's the one that's out there all over the internet world. Do you want them to print tickets? Sure. Do you want them to send me an email whenever someone registers? You can do that as well. So you can click that and then they'll email you, so-and-so just signed up. All right. So what's advanced options? I don't even know. I've never done that before. Oh, look, you can do hashtags, Google Analytics. That's all really cool. I've never used any of those. That would probably be a really awesome thing for me to learn about. All right. So then I'm going to hit continue. So now it's kind of the skeleton is there. So now we get to enter in all the settings, fees, items that you want to sell. The first thing is, can a registrant bring other people? So I usually say, yep, they can bring a guest. I don't care. I would love for them to bring a guest. So you can say how many guests they want to bring. And then I do want their last and first name. And then and then they could be called a guest. That's fine. Your currency, you add in your currency. So here's what I love is that, yes, I am going to charge for my class. There is a fee. It is not one flat fee. I don't think anything I do, guys, is a flat fee. You always want to give pricing options. So I have multiple fees. So for instance, for this one, I would do my Creating for Christ kit, including shipping. And let's say it's $39. I haven't priced it out yet, but that's what it probably is. And so then I'm going to do another fee. I'll do creating 2 kits for you and a friend. So this right here, I get about 5 or 6 people who do this every month. It's just that easy. They can order for 2, but they get to save the shipping. So typically I would take off $8. My shipping is $8. So 31 plus 39, what is that? $80, $70? $70. So it saves, save on shipping. And then if I was doing a normal class, I would say a tutorial only option. And then I usually will charge $15 for just a tutorial. So now people can come in and select, do I want the class for me? Do I want 2 classes? And do I want to pay for just the tutorial? So I love giving them these options. Now, Creating for Christ is free. The tutorial is free. So I don't charge for that. But I would typically have that option. I usually always have 3 options for them to choose from. Next, here is this is why, okay, literally, I have not changed my business in 2 years except for this big thing. And last year, my sales grew by 50,000. And this year, my sales grew by another 50,000. So yes, I'm getting more people. That's a part of it. But this is a huge thing. I've not added any events. It's the same events I've always done. but it's this. I love this. Are you offering additional items? Yes, I am. This is what I call an add-on. So I add on an item. So I'm going to add on the Forever Fern bundle. So now they can add on the bundle onto their cost, which I think this is $54. So if they add it on, because they're already paying shipping, handling, tax, everything on the original one, I charge them just the catalog cost for the add-on. So add this on to your class. I would obviously put a description, that sounded nice, and let them know. I will have 25 available, and a registrant can order 25 if they want to. So that is that add-on. Now, if I was doing this again for Creating for Christ, I keep them pretty simple, but for my retreats, I'll add on whatever stamp sets I'm using. This is one of my favorite add-ons, an adhesive bundle. People run out of adhesive, so I'll do a $25 adhesive bundle. Ooh, not $254, $25, and it will include, seal plus, a refill, dimensionals, mini glue dots, whatever. Again, I don't typically do a lot of add-ons for Creating for Christ, but for my retreats or my other classes, I always add on the stamp set or the bundle, and I'll do like an adhesive package. So they can choose to add those things on. If you're doing a class, you want to add on the stamps, the stamp pads, whatever. So this is people that are registering can choose to include these in their orders. So now I'm taking one class I would have only got $39 for, and now I'm making it 70, plus she gets the bundle. Now all of a sudden I'm collecting $124 from her, and the order I'm putting in is well over $110. So this is really a huge way that I'm also increasing my sales. Huge way. Okay, so next, how do you want, and if you want to offer a discount code, so like my team, when I do like my trainings, I give them well, they get it for free. But so like if you wanted to do a discount code for like club members for a VIP option or something, or you can offer discount codes too. So then you can just create as many discount codes as you want to. So you can charge a certain price and then give a discount code to certain people if you want to. One time I did like a special gift for some, like for Christmas, I gave $5 off of my January class. Use the discount code, create or love or whatever. Use the discount code Rhonda Rocks. And then when you put that in there, then you'll get $5 off of, the next class. So you can do it as a gift. You can do it for whatever reason. So you can do discount codes. That's just kind of a coupon off of some of your upcoming classes you might have. How do you want to collect fees? So I always select a credit card. They use a company called WePay. I've been using WePay for probably 4 years now. No issues. They're easy to use. They collect the money for you. They do charge a typical 3.25%, like anybody would charge, just like PayPal charges. And then they collect the money, and then they deposit it into my account every single Monday. So yes, I had to go in and give them my banking information, but I've had no issues. They're really awesome. So they use WePay. Again, it's not like I've been using it for a lot of years. Then I obviously will use PayPal. So you just enter in your PayPal address. You can also collect a check. And I used to do this. I don't do this anymore, but I used to do this. When I was doing live events, a lot of people who do live events like to send checks. So they can send a check. I also like a check because then I don't pay any fees at all. So I used to do this option a lot, that people could they could opt in to send me a check. And then it would say who they had to make it to. Here's my address. So it tells them right there who to send the check to. And then you can also do pay at the door. So you might not, when I would do card class, I would select them to pay at the door because my card classes are free with a purchase. So I want them coming here and putting in their order and paying. So when I would do a live event that was not a prepay, then I would have at the door. But any class that I have that's including product, then I would obviously collect the money in advance. So they have to pay when they register, and Constant Contact does all that for you. You don't have to create a PayPal button. You don't have to create a link with your credit card company. Constant Contact does all this for you, which this is one of my favorite things too. So then next, can people make a donation? Obviously, if you were doing a charity thing, you could do that too. All right, so now we have to go to the next step. this is a part that takes a little bit of time, but it's so awesome. You can create registration forms. So you just go into there, and now everybody who signs up for your class has to fill out this form, and you can collect whatever information you want. So obviously you're going to collect their name and their email address. If you're shipping it, or if you want to be able to send thank you cards, then make sure that they fill out they need to fill out those boxes. You could do address too if you want to. If you have international customers, you want to make sure, not for your classes, but for like tutorials, then you want to make sure you collect your, click your province, country, whatever. If you want to collect their cell phone numbers, you can text them. So if you're doing confirmations with people for your classes, I really recommend that you get their cell phone numbers so you can text to make sure that they're coming. Then next, I always do this. So any of you have filled out any of my forms, you know, people always forget. They always have to ask me, like, when do you, how come these are not clicking? Oh, I don't know. So we are going to create a custom question. So I'm going to have them answer a question. You realize your kits will ship on December 21st. So I can't tell you, people sign up for things and then they have no idea. Then like a week later, is my kit coming? When's it coming? So I know, even though people don't read it and they forget it, at least I know, I have confirmed with every single person who registered, do you know when your kit is coming? And I always say, and your tutorial will be emailed to you on that same day. So that's the question I ask. But you can ask any question you want to. So you could, okay, so for instance, if they were, say you were going to have lunch at your event, you could ask, you could do a question here that's a multiple choice question. You know, do you want, you know, turkey or ham? And then you could put turkey or ham. So you could like ask them any sort of like customized question, what you want to do. So that is really helpful, that question part. So that's the registration form. And then here you can preview it to see what it's going to look like. So I can make sure, this is what they're going to see. So I make sure that everything looks right. You know, does it look okay? This is what is going to come up for them. And then the question, and then here, see, they have the different, okay, there'll be another one. Here's that. See, this is what they're seeing. So and here, I like to receive your email newsletters. That's how, again, people might forward this to people or whatever. So, okay. Next, we want to edit registration notifications. So this is what is going to, again, I love this so much. These are automated emails and messages that get sent to them. So after they register, they're going to get sent to a confirmation page. So again, what do I want them to see? You know, thank you for registering. You know, I just say, you know, sit tight. We're working hard on your packages. And again, we'll be shipping them by December 21st, whatever. So I will always reiterate here when the kits are shipping, or say you have a live event, you want to remind them to bring their adhesive with them. You know, if you're going to cancel, I need to have, you know, this is a non-refundable fee. So here's where I will remind them of all of the, you know, the details. You know, your fee is non-refundable, or, you know, there's no cancellation, or, you know, you want to make, or bring your adhesive, or bring, you know, whatever. So I say things that I'm, you know, nice, but I also want them to, this is a confirmation that they need to make sure, because they can print this off. This confirmation page can get printed off. So that way they have all the reminders. Then there's also an email that gets sent to them. So again, I will put in this email the timeline that they can expect everything. You know, the deadline to register is the 14th. So your kits will be shipping by the 21st, estimated. You know, your tutorials or videos will be posted on that same day. Say you're going to do a Zoom, I would put, don't forget to join our Zoom. Here's the Zoom link, and actually give the link in there. So you can actually put links in this as well. If someone signs up for an online only and there is, I need to direct them to a web page or something, I can put all that in there. Then afterwards, then there's also a decline message. So if somebody declines coming, then it sends them a message. I just leave it like that. I don't, if they don't want to come, I don't care. They can, it says, I'm sorry, you can't make it. All right. So there is my confirmation email. So there's a page that they get redirected to, then there's an email that will get sent to them. And then, so the last thing you have to do, and this is actually what takes the most time, is create an event landing page. So an event landing page is what makes you look so professional. So that when someone clicks on the link to learn more about your event, it brings them here. So it's a very professional looking page. So it will preload with your logo on it. Which sometimes I'll leave, but I also typically will customize this. So I will upload a file. This I did do ahead of time. And so I created a thumbnail for this event already. So I will usually upload that. You can only upload PDF documents to, or JPEGs. You can't, there's some weird things you can't load. So I will load that. And then I can go in here, I can customize it if I, like, that's really huge. That, so I'll show you, like, I'll just upload it. But to me, that's really, this is really big. I think it's, oh, oops, I hit a wrong button. Hold on. The problem is you guys are like right in the way of everything. I can't hit the button. It's down there. Okay, so to me, that's really big. I don't want that one. Let's get rid of that one. So I can go in, you can customize it. So I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller down here with the dimensions. I usually do about a 700. And don't ask me why. I just think that color looks, that is about the number that I use. And then I'm going to center that there. So there is I created that cover page. I just created that in PicMonkey like in 2 minutes before we started. So they will automatically put in the events. Over here though, for if you're doing an online one, or I change the when. Last day, I'll put on here, last day to register is December 14th, or while supplies last, because I do sell out a lot. Kits will ship by estimated December 21st. So I change that a little bit around, and I make it a little bit bigger font too, because that's a little small. All right. And then it obviously gives all of your contact information. And now you create your landing page. So I'm not going to do this right now, but typically I'll go in here, and this is like a title, the title that you picked, and then you can put in anything you want to put about your class. So I obviously will just go copy and paste an old one and put it in there, and then just change the pictures and change some of the words. So, but this is where you would say what your class is about, upload any pictures that you want to. So this one, it's really easy. I like creating things through events because I just can hit that picture, and then I can upload a file from my computer. So I'll go to my computer to look for a file, and I'll go to my photos. Look, these are all the things I created just this week. Oh my gosh, it's been nuts here. So yeah, this is about a week or two old. So I would go to this one. These were the cards from Creating for Christ. So I'll input a graphic that I designed or something and put that in there. Sometimes I'll also go to the Stampin' Up website and pull their pictures or their bundles, and I'll input those in there. And again, I don't want it to be huge. This one's just a little thumbnail, so I'll make it about 352. That's just what I choose. I don't know. That seems it's about the right size. So anyway, then I'll go in and I will put all the information. And then, and the amount that the class is, I like to tell them right up front how much it costs. And again, I'll go over again. Kits will ship by the 21st. I tell them about 10 times. I try to, and they still forget, but I do try to remind them a lot. So then once you've created that, then actually what I do next is I copy and paste it, just so you know. That's what I do next. And then I hit finish. So you created all of this. Make sure you click this box. I like my landing page to be a part of the registration. So people who register will see the landing page again. That will remind them of everything too. and then I make my event live. So these are the things that, so this would be, I want to go to an actual real event that is live. Well, my next thing I would do is to create an invitation. So I would create an invitation to my event. Again, you can customize all of it. I just hit next. You could go and pick out a bunch. I like mine plain and white and simple. Some people will put it on dark. Don't ever use dark background. People can't see, like we've got glasses. Most of my clientele are over the age of 60. They can't see. Don't use dark black backgrounds. So then this is the name of the email. Then you're going to put in here a subject line. So make sure you obviously use fun, quick, cute subject lines. It says where it's from, who's it from. You can go through and look at all of this. Yeah, I just go on to continue. And then it pops up your email. So again, I would change this to being that one that I already used. And you can do that. So this one, I would click on that and I can change it. Oh, here, change it. And then it's already there, which is nice. I can just hit insert on that because it's already in there. Once you've uploaded it once, it stays in there. So there's my banner. And then this is why I told you to copy and paste. So I would take what I put on my landing page and I just copy and paste it into my email. So it's the exact same thing. I don't have to recreate an entirely new email, but you could. Like if you wanted to have a really short and simple email, but my landing pages are short and simple too. So I would just copy and paste exactly what I had on my landing page and then I hit save. So my emails only take about 2 minutes. They're going to see, so normally there would be writing up there. They're going to get more information that would click them to their landing page. They can register or I can't make it. There's a little blurb down here. Sometimes I forget this. Don't forget this. And then I'll say, thank you so much for joining Julie and I as we honor Christ with our creativity. And then I would go on and say, I need to think about this stuff. So I always sign mine stamped blessings. And then it inputs all your information in there for you too. Before I send anything, what I like to do is I like to always preview to see what it's going to look like. I have caught a lot of mistakes that way. And a lot of times when I haven't done it, I've made mistakes that I could have caught by not looking at my preview. So make sure of course, this isn't done because I didn't do all that information, but you can even send it to yourself to see what it's going to look like. That's the smart thing to do. All right, then once your email is done, then you can hit continue. And then you can choose who you want to send it to. So I hit this little plus button and I'm going to send it to my Creating for Christ group. I'm going to send it to these are customers that I've manually entered in. Like these are like some of my old face-to-face customers. And then like my general interest, this is where people just join. And then I have obviously other programs, but that's who I would send it to. And then I would I got to probably hit somebody. They're going to make me hit next. And then I know, I didn't. It's going to make me add somebody. So let's just do that. I'm not going to send this right now. Oh, then next. All right. So then you could hit send now and it would send it immediately, or you can schedule it. So this is great because you can then, what I would do is I would go through and do 3 emails right now. One right away, one for your reminder, and then one that's 24 hours away from the deadline. So you can go through and you can schedule all 3 emails right now. So don't ever complain to me that you don't have time to do your emails. If you have time to do this first one, you can do all 3 and just set them up. You can schedule them, the time, everything. You can also have them send you the results of like who opens it and all of that. Then you'd hit finish. So I'm just going to I can leave this in draft status because I don't want to send that. Nothing was in it. All right, so that is creating an event. I am going to go to an event that I have that is already open to show you some of the benefits of what the events also do. So let's go to my stamp camp that I just did. I just use this all day today. So these are the add-ons that I did for my stamp camp. I wish I could. Oh, these were, see how many add-ons I had? 22 extra bundles. Pampered, these are my, I did extra classes. So when I do retreats and stamp camps, I do optional classes, and I add, then I also sold the bundles for all of that. If you guys did the math on that, right there is about $5,000 worth of sales just in my add-ons in my camp. And I'm not, again, I'm not being boastful, but I'm just being honest. Like, I'm just showing you, I'm not gonna, that's pretty cool. Anyway, what I love to do is on a dashboard, you can view and manage your people who signed up. So it'll, I don't want to too much of this because I might have people's personal information, but you'll see who signed up for things. And then you can click on each one and you can manually do things. You can send an email to registrants. So I love that because I can then email everybody who has signed up for something, remind them to bring adhesive, remind them to bring a friend, remind them of, if you ever have cancellations, it's because you're not confirming with people. Hey, look, you can even print Avery name badges. I didn't even know that. I'm going to try that sometime. Again, you can schedule emails to people. Over here is where the emails that I have sent. So for this one, I did not send out 11 emails. I only sent out 2 because it sold out. So I didn't send out, I usually send out 3. I always send out 3 invitations for each event. And again, I can read, the bounces. I can see who opened it. Like that had 2,000 opens. I can go see who opened it. I can see who clicked on it, all that kind of stuff. Because I copied, see, I told you, I copied, I started off copying a Halloween camp, and then I copied it into my poinsettia camp. And then now it's so I just copy events. So I don't have to start from scratch. And I can actually go and open up one of these old emails and just alter it if I want to. So it saves you a ton of time once you get into doing it. So that's that. What I love the most about events as well, I keep saying that, is running reports. So now I can go to a report, I can export a full report, and I won't pull this up because it's going to have people's personal information, but it'll tell me who registered, what did they register for, their address. It'll show me the answer to their questions. It'll show me everything on that registration form. Everything will be in here. It loads as an Excel report. So let me see. I really want to show you this because it's so cool. So I can load it. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to pull it up anyway. I don't think you'll be able to see it. I don't think you'll be able to see it. Can you guys see that? I don't think so. No, because it's on my desktop. Anyway, it loads an Excel report that you can sort. So I'll sort by who ordered what. I can sort by how many, bundles were ordered. So I know how many bundles to order. So it makes me very organized in knowing what to order for who. So, all right, that is the events. I think I went over everything that I can think of when it comes to events. We've already been going on for quite a while, so I want to show you 2 last things that I use. One of them is surveys. I use surveys a lot when I need to collect information. So right now, I haven't emailed this out yet, but I want to find out from my customers who needs a catalog and a brochure. So I can create a survey where they can give me their address. They can say yes or no, because not all customers need them. Some of my customers are demonstrators and they get them from Stampin' Up, or some of them have multiple demonstrators and probably already have one. So I do a survey. For our team Secret Santa, I did that. When I do door price forms for my online workshops, I do them as surveys. And then I can go to my responses and I can, go through each response to see, if they wanted to book a party, if they wanted to, join my email list. I actually gave the link for them to join my email list right there. So I do surveys with my customers, but I use them for door price forms. See, I use them a lot for my online workshop door prizes. Oh, when I did a team incentive, I did an auction for my team. I sent them a survey. How many auction dollars did you get? Created it super fast. So again, you just hit that create button up there. And then I go to create surveys. And then it will just like the events, it'll just start asking you questions. Do you want to start with one that you can customize, one that's blank? And then you just can go through and you add exactly which questions you want. What I love then is when I want to share that survey. So let's say I'm going to share this survey with my customers. I don't know where I went back to the main screen. So if I want to go to my surveys and then I want to share it with my customers, I can go to this one. I open it up and it creates a link. This is what you want in your business. You want links to be able to share. So I can copy and paste that link, and then I can put it in an email. I can put it on Facebook. I can put it on my blog. It creates a link, which I did not show you. This is how you fill your online classes, right? You email it out to everybody, but then let me go back to the events. I forgot to show you this. When you make an event live, on your main screen is this right here, an event URL. So you just go and copy it. And then this link is what I'll put in emails, on my Facebook Lives, on my YouTube, on Pinterest, on Instagram, emails. This link, if someone says, oh, I want to sign up for your class, great, boom, here's the link. So I will go in here. This is on your dashboard. This is on your main screen. You can copy and paste that link. That's what you guys want, links, to be able to, that's how you get online people to sign up for stuff. All right. So I covered the last thing I want to cover. This is how I get people to join my email list, is through landing pages. So we're going to go to landing pages. I only have 2 email lists that people can join. The other ones are all private ones that people either pay for or they have to be a part of my team. So these are my 2 public email lists that I have. And so I just started using these last year. So it's only been a year that I've even been using these landing pages, because landing pages is something new. So you can create a landing page, and this one is for people to join my just join my email list. So I can come in here, and again, what's that? What do you have? You have a link, right? So now I have this link that I can copy and paste, and this is the one that I input into everything. So it's super easy. It's a short link, and then I can go in, and this is what I think. This is what shows up. So when they click that link, this is what they're going to get. So it's my logo. You can customize this, by the way. Mine's pretty boring, but you can certainly make yours fun and jazzy. Then their name, this is all I care, their email address and their name, and first name and last name. And then it's a sign up button. And it does say, by submitting this form, you're consenting to receive marketing emails from me. So they have to consent when they do this. So once they do this, then they go right into my email list. So I use this link 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times a week, where I put it into all of my, again, any communication. I always say, hey, join my email list here, and then they can click on that. And so then it tells me, of course, I haven't looked at any of this, how many new contacts that I have, how many are updated. So people who are already on my list, but maybe their email address changed or something. So there's that many. How many are mobile? Wow, look at how many of those are mobile. That's a lot. Most of the people are joining on their phone. That's pretty cool. But the funny thing is, most people sign up for my classes from their computer. It's flipped on. So you can also share stuff. After you do an email, they are integrated with all of your social media. So when you use Constant Contact, you can put in all of your, these are some of the, this is an email. So you can pull up an email. You can, again, it also, when you pull up an email, let's see here, go back to details. It'll give you a link. So now a lot of times on my Facebook page, I'll say, hey, if you want to see my latest email, because there's a lot of people on there that aren't on my email list, they can click on that. Also, I can schedule posts. So you can schedule posts on your social media. So any social media that you have. You can also create ads that they will create for you on Facebook with your email campaign that you have here. So they will help integrate all of this with your social media as well. So those are the main things that I use. I went through that so quickly. And so those of you who already have Constant Contact, hopefully these are some things that you, when you go to create, if you don't use events or you don't use the surveys or landing pages, it's all right here. Again, guys, there's even more that I don't use, but those are just the main 4 things that I do for my business. All right, I am going to get out of here. and hopefully find you again and pull you back up here. Let me see. I'm going to bring you back up here. Let's see. Oh, here we go. You're screen sharing. I want to, stop screen share. There we go. I'm back. I did it. All right. So what I see there's probably a lot of questions that came through, but I didn't see any of them. When you're doing screen sharing, I can't see them. So someone said I'm overwhelmed. It's a lot of information. Yes, and it's recorded, so you can go back and watch it. I did a training like this with Zoom. Within the first 5 minutes, I was overwhelmed, but it was recorded. So I've gone back and just watched it in bits and pieces. So I did put a lot of information into something. I will spend almost an hour and a half. So I wanted to give you as much information as I could in this time to show you those are the things that I really do. So you can always go back to. All right. So does anybody have any questions? I can try to go through them a little bit clearer. Debbie said, I'm not still clear on how to schedule the one week reminder and 24-hour reminder. So when I went into the email, Debbie, and you were done and you could schedule it. So you would send that first one out right away. And then I would go back into that same email and I would copy it. And then of course I would change some of the words to say, hey, there's only 1 week left to register. And then you would hit the continue. Instead of sending it, then you're going to instead go into schedule, and then you're going to schedule it, for a week later. And then you do it again, and then you would do it where you're going to schedule for, whatever day was 24 hours. Someone said, will the constant contact coach take you through the step-by-step of switching from MailChimp to, I don't know, maybe. I know a lot of people who have done it. They had said that you just have to upload a CSV file of all of your contacts. And then I know it's pretty easy to import your CSV file into your contacts on Constant Contact. So your coach, though, should be able to help. Denise said, do you have a training available on branding yourself and your business, creating a logo, etc.? We train a lot on that through the program. Denise, what my training program is a weekly training program. Like every week we're training on all kinds of very practical, real things. So one that is specific on branding or a logo, no, I can't think of one off the top of my head. And I don't teach how to create logos. All of my logos I will do on PicMonkey or Canva, or I'll pay someone to create me a logo. So I can't teach you how to do that. So Janice said she had a landing page for new customers, but never found who joined the email list. So when on that page where I had that landing page, Janice, there was a place where you could go and click, and it will tell you exactly who joined. So it'll give you, and every single week, Constant Contact sends me an email that says, here are your new subscribers that you have, and here are your unsubscribers. So it even tells me who unsubscribes. Someone said, how can we find the recording? I will email it to you afterwards. So probably tomorrow. I probably won't do it tonight. Someone said, can you use TAMs with Constant Contact? Maybe. I don't know. I don't. So I don't know the answer to that. Let's see here. How do you keep your email list separate, as in customers from team members? Different URL in the survey. Again, no, Dee, I would create different surveys. So the 2 surveys that you saw that I have are not surveys, but the landing pages. Those are for specifically those specific lists. So my team one is one that I control. No one joins that. It's only when I enter people in there. People cannot control, can't enter those. Those are private lists. So they can only... So my team one is one that I will add and remove people. No one can add and remove themselves. Well, they can unsubscribe, but they can't add themselves. Now, my general one that I showed you and my Creating for Christ, those are public ones where I will then post those in different places, and then they can join publicly. So good. Diane has been using Constant Contact for a while. She learned lots of new tips. If you are new to Constant Contact, how do you add email addresses to your mailing list? Okay, so there is, let's see if I can screen share again really quick and I can show you. Let's see if I can show that really quick. I might not be able to. Oh, I got out of it. Shoot. So there is a place for you to be able to, see if it'll let me log back in really quick. It will. So there is, adding contacts is really easy. And all you have to do, there's a, where I had campaigns, right next to it says contacts. So right here. So right next to, and you can, again, you can run reports. You can create sign up forms for people to sign up for your email list. There's all these things I didn't even cover. I wanted to keep it simple. Even some of you are overwhelmed. I mean, again, it's a learning curve. It's a learning curve. You'll learn as you go. But contacts, you you click on the contacts, and then you can add in a contact one at a time. You can add in multiple contacts. You can update contacts. You can do other things here. So I can click on which one that I want to add somebody to, and then I can add them. So it's, if you manually want to add somebody, you can easily do that right here through your, right there through your contacts. Okay. So let's see here. Thank you. Oh, Carolyn, I appreciate the significant amount of work to connect with us. Email contacts versus blog. Yeah, I am telling you, blogging is great. Blogging is effective. Blogging works. Blogging will make you be successful. But to do the amount of email marketing that, like personally, like that I do, I can't do both. It's too much time. And so I've made a choice to focus mostly on email marketing. And as you can tell, if it's equally successful, right? Like I know people who blog that are very, very successful, and I'm very successful, and I focus on email marketing. The best world is to be able to do both. And if you had the time to do both, that would make you even more successful and more tools to be successful. So blogging, I don't say don't blog. Yes, blog. I wish I blogged every day, or even once a week even, but it's something where I have to have a give and take. And so instead, and I also, though, guys, my training business is 30 hours a week minimum. So I'm balancing, it's like I have another full-time job that I balance too, besides my stamping business. So when you have things you're juggling, you have to pick and choose. So for me, I believe if you're going to pick and choose, though, email marketing is your most effective for everybody. Blogging takes years and years and years and years and years of developing your following and your consistency. And so does email marketing. I think you saw I had like 7,000. That's taken me, 10 years to build that. What's huge about it, though, is that everybody can start right where you're at. You can begin with email marketing, and people can opt in, and you can add them in, and you can communicate with your customers a lot more effectively, quicker, and easier. It is recorded. Yep, Katie. I do believe that this is, if you're going to choose between email marketing and blogging, I would absolutely choose something like this. Again, because of the events section. That is why I choose Constant Contact, is because of the event section. It is like gold what it can do to help you with your classes, to help you with your live classes. Your registration will increase for everything that you do when you're using the event section. So anyway, afterwards, I think I got most of lots of questions. I think I answered most of them. Laura said, can you show us how to schedule all the emails for an event at once? Well, I can't do it. I just told you, I don't think you can do it all at once. I go back in and I just copy the email and schedule it, copy the email and schedule it. So, okay. All right. So does anybody else have any questions that someone sent me some private ones. Do you schedule a specific time that you write your emails? Typically, yeah. I always train on a consistent calendar that you have, time that you do that. So for me, it's such a part of my everyday, though. So I'm in my email marketing every day, all the time, because again, I'm doing marketing for my stamping business, all my events that I have going on, but then also the next day may be my training business and all that I have going on. And, I'm emailing my team several times a week. I'm meeting my customers several times a week. I meet my training clients several times a week. So I'm in there all the time. So for me, it's every day. And so anyway, to wrap it up, if you would like to be under my umbrella, you have to request. Even if you are a current subscriber, you can move under my umbrella. And then you can get the version 15, which includes the events. That will only be 15. So there's an email plus. That is what you need. It's $45 a month. They are, if you're brand new, you want to use my referral link. So I will tell you exactly how to do that, both of those things. If you need help with like how to do this, how to do that, you're going to contact Constant Contact and schedule a time with a coach with them. They have coaches that which I'm not a coach, so they don't pay me to do this. Again, I'm doing this because I know a lot of you use Constant Contact, and I want to help you as much as I can. So because I am referring you and I do believe in it so much. So I do have that umbrella. You can email me and I typically will direct you to, I have a coach that has told me he will help me. I warned him I was doing this. And I said, so you might get a lot of calls and he said that he will help me and walk us through. And so I'll direct you to him a lot and I'll direct you. He has a whole team of coaches he has ready to help everybody that will need help for this. So I will send that. Someone said the umbrella version of Rhonda's, the cost is not $15. The basic cost for Constant Contact, I believe, is $30 a month to get all of those services. If you want to add the event section under my umbrella, it will be $45. So it's a $15 increase, but then it would include the events, and that's version 15. The version they have right out now, the event section is included for your $30, but you have to pay per transaction. So if you saw all those events I had and all those transactions, I'd have to pay per every one of them. And so would you. It's way too expensive. But they are allowing you to grandfather under my version 15 if you are under my umbrella. And that goes for existing Constant Contact people as well. So that I'm trying to describe that as much as I can because I don't really deal with that side of it, but I wanted to try to be able to answer those questions for you. Yes, a lot of people will tell you that Constant Contact is a game changer for sure, especially if you're doing online classes. I almost think it's like a must. Let's see here. Any other questions? I think someone said that they signed up. Yes. So if you are already, and I'd love to have you under my umbrella as well, because then it's, I don't know, I got the same guy, the same worker. And all you have to do is you'll send an email to a specific email that says, I would like to transfer under Rhonda Wade's umbrella. And then they will move you over there. She asked, do I get the designer template for free? You can ask. All the perks that I'm able to offer are for new Constant Contact subscribers, not current ones. So, or not, so they're for new people who are joining. And that is the free web template builder, whatever, for your emails. They don't build a website. They take your website and move it into an email template, which is really, really awesome. If Constant Contact has version updates, will this knock us out of your version 15? No, which I'm still in my version I've always had. And they've made tons of changes and I haven't changed whatsoever. And he said that they will never change you unless you ask to be changed. So if I wanted version 17, they could change me. And I'm like, heck no, leave me right where I'm at. My pricing structure is the cheapest to also have the events included. And he's like, oh, absolutely. And he said, I am the only person in the entire country that they're allowing that is doing this. He said that there's a niche out there of crafty types that obviously I have referred that are using it as well and using it to the fullest. Do you have a web page? Nope, I have not used that. I showed you, Janice, what I used. And there's other things too, but I use the email, obviously. I use events, I use surveys and landing pages. And I also do some of their automated things. And but those are the main things that I use are what are there. Mary said, if I already have events, is there a benefit to me going under your umbrella? I believe, Mary, that will allow you to always be able to keep that version 15. because the event section, they're changing how it's pricing per transaction. If yours hasn't changed yet, then they might not ever change it. So I really don't know if there is or not. But that's up to you to make that change. It's a simple email that you have to send. Who do you use for web hosting for your web pages? Again, Denise, I really don't use websites a whole lot. I mean, again, I use email marketing. So I have a very simple website, and my domain is through GoDaddy, which I wouldn't recommend. I'm having issues with them. And I have a blog, which I use Typepad. And again, I wouldn't recommend either. It's kind of old school. So, but I'm not investing my time and effort and money there. They're just kind of like landing pages to direct people to all the things that I do. All right, so I think I answered everyone's questions. We're going way over. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope I answered some questions. I hope that those of you who are using Constant Contact, I hope I gave you some ideas on more ways to use it to the fullest. And I hope that those of you who don't use it and you want to try it out, I recommend it. It's whatever, if I believe in something, I would highly recommend it to help you with this online world. The online world is not going anywhere. It's going to get more and more and more. And offering online classes is something that we're going to be doing more and more and more of. So it's time. Lola's saying goodbye to Nancy. Nancy just left. Okay, so this, you might as well start it now and use it to its fullest, because this is one of the ways that will help you to continue to progress your business, even as we're making all of these changes. So, people are giving me lots of hearts and love. Thank you, guys. I am glad that you're here with me. Again, I don't claim to be a professional at this. I don't claim to know it all. I'm just showing you what I do, and I showed you pretty quickly, so you can always go back through. All right, have a great day. Thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody.